Yeah, I sat down to get on about 5 minutes ago. The computer was like off. And of course, now it looks totally different because everything updated. So,
All right. Well, welcome everyone for being on the call. This is the Friday morning business testimonial call with the Niken Live program. We're independent Niken consultants that are holding this call. It doesn't have anything to do with Niken directly, but we're going to be talking about Niken. I'm a Royal Diamond with Niken. We've been in Niken for 22 years. My wife and I love it. It's been wonderful for our health. We were in our 50s when we got started, and we've been living in a Niken wellness home for 22 years. So we're just so happy and grateful that that we found this. And I'm really excited to have Gary Lindner on this morning. Let me see, I'm going to mute everybody and then Gary.
I can unmute myself.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, well, this lifestyle is amazing, and Gary Lindner has been a proponent of staying healthy by doing the right things for our body, putting our body in the right environment, and self-care matters, and water and sleep and all that sort of stuff. So Gary, we really appreciate that. And we were on your call Tuesday night, and we heard you say that you lost a bunch of weight over the last few months. I'm really proud of you for doing that and being an example for all of us. And
it's about time.
Yeah, I see some of those pictures of me too, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome to our call, and I just would love for you to share from a business standpoint what this has all been for you.
Okay. So I will be coming up on my 19th anniversary with Niken on in December. Also, December will mark my birthday, and so it's a big month. I also have a wedding anniversary. It's my wife's birthday. It's a big month. So, anyways, when I was first introduced to Niken, I was introduced to it like many people are through the product side. Now, I really was not looking for a business, but what intrigued me were the technologies. And my background is I'm a physiologist. Physiology is pretty much the study of how the body works. And through kind of just doing some due diligence and looking at the product line and the technologies used by Niken, I was introduced to the concept of the business opportunity. It took quite a while for me to see that, but let me put it this way. I owned a company called Applied Genetics. It was one of probably the third within the top three largest company of its kind in the world. What we did is we provided animal breeding services, embryo transfer services to premier cattlemen all over the United States, let alone all over the world, as far as export and importation of genetics into other countries. It was very busy. I managed 5 different teams. We had 20 veterinarians, about 40 people on staff, 5 different offices, 2 international offices. And one day I came to the realization that I'd become this administrative business person rather than the person out in the field doing what I really enjoyed. And also that I had become this very busy business person that really didn't have a life. I traveled 80-90% of my time. I had 4 kids at home I never saw. I missed birthdays, ball games, you name it, all for the sake of my occupation, if you will. And it's not that I disliked that. I love what I do. I love what I did, and I still do it part-time because I love it so much. But I looked at Niken as a business opportunity to provide me some choices. We talk about being healthy by choice, not by chance. I would say that is very applicable to our entire lives, not just our physical health, but everything else that we do as well. So I took a look at the opportunity. I did the due diligence there. I got started, and let me fast forward. Where I used to be on 3 or 4 different ranches a day and working 14, 15, sometimes longer hours a day, when I used to be on the road 80, 90% of my time, Nikan allowed me to be able to still do something I really enjoy doing. So instead of 4 or 5 ranches a day, it's 4 or 5 ranches a month. Mm-hmm. Instead of being on the road 80, 90% of my time, I'm home 80, 90% of the time. So it's a total reversal of that. And I'm very thankful to Nikan for that. It's and that's the other side of that too. Is I'm 64 years old. I'm healthier than I was when I was 46 physically, through our product and our technologies, through the choices they afforded me there and my family there, and many others along those lines. Jack.
Wow. Well, I really relate to that. We were busy in residential real estate sales before Nikan, and we put in a lot of 80-hour weeks and just crazy lifestyle. It seems like real estate is one of those kind of businesses that you have to do 110% or it doesn't work. And
yeah. Well, I'd say just about any business is,
right.
If you really want to be successful. So yeah.
You are exactly right. And Nikan, because of the leverage that we get, has allowed us to, yes, have a lot more free time with our grandson here. We're really loving that during the school year we come down to Nevada and spend the whole school year with our grandson. So that's a great lifestyle for us. So tell us more about when the time. That's why you love Nikan, I suppose, as a business. What have been some roadblocks that you've run into in your Nikan business?
Well, let me talk a little bit more, if we have time, about what I really like about it. Okay.
Okay. Oh, good.
And it's and this could be applicable, I think, to anybody you may be talking to that has a background either in coaching, helping others, teaching, and because they do that. People become teachers not because they're going to make a lot of money. That's probably the last thing on their mind. It's something that they really, and I used to teach it, have faculty position at a couple different universities. I really enjoyed that. So for me, it's offered that opportunity to do that again too. I mean, I love being up talking at conventions and whatever, and very excited about the one coming up in San Antonio. I've got like a 25-minute spot there to kick things off, if you will. So that fulfills that desire I had occupationally, and probably a lot of other reasons why too, but that I had, is why I chose that as a profession to begin with. And Nikan has reintroduced that too, and that's exciting, to kind of come to a full circle or a fruition there, to where something that was you really enjoyed doing, but because you took another path, all of a sudden wasn't there, or there in the capacity that it fulfilled that need. So I really like that about Nikan too. So roadblocks. I think, I don't know if there were roadblocks. Let's put it this way. You make mistakes, you learn from them. So that's,
yeah.
It's really tough for me to think of Nikan as roadblock, because I never really looked at it that way.
Okay.
I'd never been in this type of business and network marketing business before NECAN. No one had ever approached me in my entire life. I think I was that person on that chicken list that they said, oh no, yeah, I don't want to talk to him because he's, whatever. But, and nobody did that I knew. I actually bumped into it totally by accident while working in China and in Taiwan. I was in Taipei and met a guy who was a NECAN consultant, was a physical therapist, who was the brother of one of the veterinarians that I was training in assisted reproductive technologies in a course that I was doing. Of course, they paid us well for the course to come do that. But I mean, so it was totally happenstance. And then it just kept resurfacing. I'd be in Eugene, Oregon, working on cattle up there, and they'd be having a NECAN meeting at the Red Lion Inn. I mean, maybe you'd been to some of those, Jack. People be coming out spinning little magic balls at me. And then it just it showed up in my local paper. I read a weekly paper, and it was one of those things that was just, the universe trying to tell me something here, and I'm not paying attention. So anyways, I get sidetracked a lot, and I apologize for that. But anyways, so as far as, roadblocks, to me, it was just kind of really getting to learn that type of business, very different than other businesses. And I just wrote, a few pages. You can't really call it a chapter, for the second edition of a book called The Flip Flop CEO. And I would highly recommend it. It's a great book. The authors asked me, I was in the first one, they asked me to contribute to the second one. And in the second one, I talk about the difference of one of the questions being addressed. What was the difference from what you used to do to what you do in network marketing? And the hardest thing for me to learn was to become a coach, a friend, a mentor, if you will, and not a boss. So for me, that was a difficult one, because I'd spent 25 years giving directives and orders and expecting people to follow them. And, because I was paying them to follow them. So that's a big transition. And then again, that's almost a full circle to coming back to being that teacher. So.
Well, you are so amazing. I just love to hear you talk. I love the way you teach. I love how clear you make complicated things.
They need everybody but myself. So.
Understandable. You are an excellent teacher, and you are a great example. And not only that, you put all these, everything you do, you're willing to share.
Yeah.
So that is a tremendous.
That's what it's about. It's. I always look at NECAN as not. We aren't separate teams. We're one big team.
Yeah.
We've got some problems that I think only we as a community, backed with the company NECAN, can address. And I'm very passionate about that. And as you and I have talked about that, Jack. So it's a bigger picture than just the business, as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then just educating people. People don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And they don't know that sugar is killing them. Maybe one thing. The medications that they're taking are blocking the symptoms, but not really taking care of the problem.
Yeah.
And you're teaching.
I'll give you a good example. I was at a luncheon yesterday, or no, this was Wednesday, and it's a business networking luncheon. It's a group in Lodi called the CEO Roundtable. I helped found it and organize it, but haven't been to it for quite a while. But I decided to show up last Wednesday, and the topic was really pretty much about that same thing. Is the customer always right? Was pretty much the topic. And I'm sitting at a table and in this conference room, and it's a small group of the, say, 10, 11 people there, 7 of them have bottled water. And I said, well, let me, it's not, so let me talk about this. When it came to my time, I said, it's not that the customer is always right, and it's not that the customer is always wrong. A lot of times it's the customer isn't informed. So let me use this example. We've got 11 people here. 7 of us are drinking bottled water. That's right within the demographic that 75% of the people do. And I pretty much assume every one of you drinking that bottled water think that it's a healthy choice. It's not, because it isn't. But then that little discussion kind of started with, "Oh, I just got it, so it's convenient." And I said, "Well, is it convenient to be healthy, or does it take a little work?"
Wow.
Or does it take the right choice? But first, it takes the right information.
Yeah.
So you have to become aware.
Well, I really appreciate that. And Karen and I have been married 40 years now. And when we got together, we had both been on that track of making the right choices. We were both organic gardeners, and we love to have the best water. And neither one of us were at all attracted to medicine, other than herbs. And so when Niken came along, it was just natural. It was a perfect fit. And everything, all these wonderful energies that Niken provides for us, I just know you love teaching about that. And I think you do one of the best jobs of anybody that in my 22 years with Niken.
Thank you.
Teaching. So I really appreciate you that way.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. It means a lot. It really does.
So what's your vision for Niken, for you and Niken in the future?
Well, let's put it this way. That's a very, very good question, and I will answer it this way. I will address that on the stage from San Antonio.
Oh, yes.
Because that's exactly what I'm going to talk about. So.
Good. So everybody
needs to be there.
I love it.
See, I'm also pretty good at marketing too.
Well, yeah, you are. You really are, and you're good at organizing, I think, of getting people together, getting people to. So you're still doing wellness preview kind of things in Lodi?
We are. We actually have a self-care Saturday tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. here in Lodi. We do weekly events, but I'm somewhat changing that so that we will be able to, you may have noticed that we changed the Self-Care Awakening from Wednesday to Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, for anybody who would like to tune in. But the reason I did that too is, one, we did a survey. Heather Abbott and Dave's office did a survey, and everybody liked Tuesday night the best of the offers that we gave them. But for me, that was fortuitous because we do have live events on Tuesday. So what I'm going to do in the future is then broadcast maybe once, twice a month, what we used to call a wellness preview live out to, through the Zoom channel. Wow. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. So
that will be a lot of fun, and to have live questions and maybe
live interaction. You can't get better than live. And if we can make Zoom more live, then I think it's a step up. So.
It sounds like fun. Somebody has a product experience and they jump up and say, wow, look at that, I can raise my arm up.
Oh, yeah.
Fun. Good. Well, that's a good vision for the future, too. What would you like?
Let me just say this: I'm very excited, and not just personally, but I'm excited for all of us, and I'm excited for any new people that we upgrade and bring into our business, into our cause. because of what this transformation, this metamorphosis, if you will, that we've all been going through as a society, I guess, the Nikan society, if we want to call us that, ourselves that, and from the corporate standpoint too. You know, I don't have a lot of patience. I'm not somebody blessed with patience, and it's been a trying time for me. I will say that, because things don't happen as fast as Gary wants them to happen. But I am very excited of what I know is coming down the pike here that will be launching, and I think the future's so bright we'll all have to wear shades, I guess. So.
Well, that's a good preview of the future too. I love that. So, if you were starting over right now, is there anything you do different than you did the first time?
If I were starting over right now, I started with a bang. I mean, I really did. I did everything I thought that was supposed to need to do. But that was it. I have to answer that really very pragmatically and logically. Yes, because our business has changed. So the methodologies and the strategies I used when I started, nearly 19 years ago, would not be applicable to what we have in front of us right now, or what we will have in front of us in the next few weeks. So obviously that would change. I think maybe I'd have planned better, because just given the nature of my other business of applied genetics, it's seasonal. You're super busy for a few months, and then you got a month where you're kind of slow and super busy, and it happens, kind of seasonally 4 times a year. It's not that you have other work when you aren't busy, you do, but it's not, 4 or 5 ranches a day, putting in 100 embryos at a ranch, whatever. Which everybody's going, what the heck's he talking about? But anyway, ask me later, I'll explain it to you. I think I'd have planned for those busy times better, to where when I hit some momentum, and then all of a sudden I was gone, and that momentum was lost. Mm-hmm. And that's, I'm not sure how I would have done that, but I do think our new business model, if you will, or our updated business model, takes that into account. And it takes it into account from the standpoint of having a stable customer base. So yeah, but I didn't know that then. I don't think any of us knew that then. We should have known that then, but we didn't.
I guess it should have been logical.
It should have.
Anyway, some of us are a little slow to catch on. But Nikan is the first one to make this big shift. So,
and you have to applaud them for that. You really do. You really have to applaud them for that.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's about time to wind this up, Gary. I really, I'm really happy that you were on, and you've given us a lot of great things to think about. What's the last thing you'd like to leave people with?
Be healthy by choice, not by chance.
It's about as simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah. And in all aspects of your life, where we're talking about self-care for your health, or self-care for your finances, or self-care for your family, it's all here. It really is.
It really is. And I'm just so grateful. Of course, I'm 22 years older than I was when we started, and I really feel better than I did then. And we're out climbing in the high Sierras, and I have an accident every once in a while, little things, and I've fallen, and I haven't had any broken bones. I mean, I'm taking everything that Nikan has to offer. I love it, and I feel like a walking example of what you can be when you're in your 70s. So anyway,
and you are.
So
a walking example, and you are in your 70s.
Thank you,
I
everyone.
like to have fun on the shows, Jack.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate everyone that came on. And I will, oops. Now what do I do?
Thank you, Jack and Gary. It was awesome. I
Yeah,
always enjoy
thank you.
listening to you guys.
Okay. Appreciate it.